you see this regionalization and some merging, affiliating with an MSO like Unified Radiology. Um, how as physicians have you been able to come together and say, okay, um, we at Colorado Imaging Associates, we trust what another group in Unified is doing. In other words, how have you brought that under one kind of clinical quality umbrella? I don't know if I'm asking that properly, but how have you been able to overcome what I heard for years was, well, they just don't read as well as we do. I mean, how do you build that trust within a large MSO like Unified?
Yeah, Tom has spoken to that to some degree. It began with social interaction and kind of high level clinical interaction between the leadership of the groups that were previously clients of MBMS, still are clients of MBMS. And that was something that continued for many years on a biannual basis. And organically, there began to be trust between the leaderships of the practices. And this is happening in a milieu where there is consolidation in radiology and in health systems. And the leadership of the various groups could see that it would be advantageous, that we'd be stronger together than we would be individually.
Mm-hmm.
And that was obviously accelerated by the rapid growth of corporate radiology in the last 5 years. It became necessary for survival for us as independent groups to consider
Mm-hmm.
how we can achieve the same kind of scale that these corporate practices are aiming for. Because we know that those corporate practices, they have their suits in our C-suite, 3 times a year, 4 times a year. They're making their pitch. How do we fend that off? How can we achieve similar benefits of
Mm-hmm.
scale and size without having to be dependent on an outside private equity or venture capital backed corporate entity?